All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start up by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahawah by Hashem Shad by Hashem Kakadash. That's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrews, Yahawah by Hashem, meaning in the name, and Yahweh Shai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also, want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful, like preaching word and truth and sincerity. My brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona, Camp Lord Will, with another video to edify. And I'm already at the plantation. I'm working right now, but I'm listening to the video while I'm working, and spirit kind of hit me, so I had to get into this real quick. The Lord allows it, but ultimately, this dude, Ronald Dalton, the Hebrews to Negro, bugged out Israelite Negro that never goes in the scriptures and always tendered-eyed to the Edomite. Somehow, everybody else is getting canceled, but this Negro is able to sit here and have his page up, everything, right? Somehow, he's able to do these things and have a platform, but the elder Menachezak's last channel that had 10K subscribers gets yanked down, right? Multiple brothers' channels get yanked down so damn often, but this dude's able to sit here and have it up, right? And so he tried to come out and say that the chariots of the Lord are not what you're seeing in the skies, the so-called UFOs. And he even made a statement, so there's going to be an intergalactic war, right? God made God. Yes, there is. The scriptures tell you Satan and his angels, and the dragon is in his angels, right? Let me get it. Salakia. It's working. This is Revelation 12 and 9. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceived the world. No, that's not it. One second. Yeah, here it is. Revelation 12 and 7, it says, and there was war in heaven, right? Michael and his angels going into the military and the army of the Lord, right? It says, fought against the dragon, going to Esau, Edom, and his power structure. And the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven, right? So yeah, there's going to be an intergalactic war. The Lord talks about there's going to be a war in heaven, right? And there was war in heaven, meaning, good set against evil, right? When you go to the book of Ezra, it tells you, let me get it. Second Ezra 13 and I'll start at 5. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men at a number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Right? Talking about Yahweh Shai. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. Now, if the Lord is flying upon a mountain, you just really expecting there to be a mountain, right? If the Lord's just flying on, or is this a chariot of the Lord, right? It's chariots of men, right? Let me get it. This is gotta use my scriptures too. This is Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, for behold, Yahawah will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger a fury, and his rebukes with flames of fire. So the Lord is going to come with his own chariots, right? Just like Esau is going to come with his, which is what? Esau, the so-called white men, all these heathen, their chariots are what? These aircrafts, these jets, right? These bombers, right? Even now they're sitting here You have something called the Space Force. What are they doing? Militarizing space. Why are they militarizing space? If there's been no actual war up there yet, it's because they're preparing for the war that the Lord's bringing. Let me get this chariots spirit. Salakia. I don't got any scriptures prepared. Man, I'm forgetting how the scripture goes, but there's one that goes, the chariots are flesh, man. Chariots of Pharaoh are flesh. And ultimately, you have to understand that the Lord has his own way to fight this whole battle. Now, going into the rest of the Second Ezra 13, this Second Ezra 13 and 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, he graved himself. There was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven, going back into Revelation, when it talks about all the nations coming to fight, right? From the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And I behold, lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. Do mountains fly? Right? Ronald Dalton. But I beheld what Ezra was seeing was that great so-called UFO in this world, which is just the chariots of the Lord, right? He saw Yahawah riding on the largest of them. It says, but I would have seen the region or the place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. So obviously he looked for an actual mountain that was cut out, and he couldn't find it. So obviously this was an allegory to the chariot of the Lord, right? And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid. Yet there's fight. That's that war in heaven, right? And lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon the sudden an innumerable multitude nothing was to perceive but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So he saw the chariot of the Lord sending out them laser beams, sending out that concentrated fire, right? That's what he saw. You can't get around these things, right? So you go to the Ezekiel, right? My question for Ronald Dalton: if every time that the word chariot was mentioned in scripture, it was talking about a physical chariot with wheels and everything, right? Then what about Ezekiel, the first chapter, right? This is Ezekiel 1, and skim this real quick. Now the kicker is in the 16th verse. Sorry, I'm not pulling it up on the screen. I'm trying to get this stuff going as fast as possible. I got to get back to slavery, but Ezekiel 1:1, it says, now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day in the month, I was among the captives by the river Kabar, that the heavens were open, and I saw a vision of the Most High in the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of the king Jeconiah's captivity. Right? The word of Yahawah came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Uzai, in the land of the Chaldees by the river Kabar, and the hand of Yahawah was there upon him. Right? And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and fire enfolding itself. That great crowd, because the Lord said what? He made his chariots this is Psalms 104 and 3. It says, "Who laid?" I started one. It says, "Bless Yahawah, O my soul. Bless Yahawah, my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who covers thyself with light as a garment, and stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. Who laid the beams of his chambers in the waters. Who maketh the clouds his chariots. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind." So tell me, when it's saying he made his clouds the chariots, are you looking for a chariot with wheels in the sky? You got to answer these questions, Ronald Dalton. Right? So back in Ezekiel 1 and 4, it says that I looked and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, and a great cloud and fire. Right? The scriptures talk about he making the chariots fire, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Now it starts going into the angels, but when you go down to about, I'll jump down to the 12th verse. It says, "And he went every one straight forward, whither the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, the appearance was like the burning coals of a fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of flashing a light." So those are the angels getting down, right? Verse 15. "Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with its four faces. The appearance of the wheels in their work was like unto the color of amber, and they four had one likeness, and the appearance of their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel." All right, that's technically a flying saucer. All right, and these chariots can come in many forms, but this is what the scriptures are talking about. So explain this, break this down, Ronald Dalton. Well, this dude has been able to sit here and prop himself up to this point, but hasn't actually gone into the scriptures to break down anything to give us understanding. No precept upon precept. So far, the only thing he's done was bring out some words in Hebrew and Greek, and that's it. Now you're gonna have to sit here and actually start chopping into the scriptures, and all you say is that it's not the chariots of the Lord that are so-called UFOs, which we are going to be delivered of, because the Lord said what? We shall all be caught up in the cloud. We got the scripture that tied back to the cloud, which is the chariot of the Lord. So make us understand, Ronald Dalton, right? You're going to have to explain the will within the will, right? You're going to have to go into these things. But this is a quick lesson. Lord willing, was edifying. You know, you got to watch out for these dudes that try to prop themselves up to this esteem. And why is it that brothers' channels keep getting pulled down, but this dude has a platform, even though he has national notoriety now? This whole Kyrie Irving shit popping off. Why is that? Answer those questions. Why is that? Why is he not on the street speaking? No, think about these things. Lord willing, was edifying him. Say, call Allah Yahawah Shemar Shai Bashim Crocodile Shalom.